It's the 4th of July, 2015, and this is episode 227. This show is intended for informational and educational purposes only. What cryptocurrency enables is new, empowering, and exciting, but we're not experts, just obsessed companions walking the road towards a more peer-to-peer future.
Welcome to Let's Talk Bitcoin. This is Matthew Zipkin, and today on the show we're joined by Alena Vranova, who's the co-founder of Satoshi Labs, maker of the Trezor Hardware Wallet, among other things. How's it going, Alena?
Hey, it's pretty cool. Hello.
So the thing Satoshi Labs is most known for, I think, is the Trezor Hardware Wallet. Most listeners probably have a grasp of how it works, but maybe you can give us a quick rundown. What does the Trezor Wallet do, and how do you use it once you get one?
Okay, so basically just for those who don't know Trezor yet, I think there are not so many people there who never heard, but I would just sum up. It's a Bitcoin wallet that is specially designed to bring ultimate security to everyone. And by saying everyone, I mean people like myself or my mom, or even security experts. This device was designed to keep your Bitcoins totally safe without having to trust the device, without having to trust Satoshi Labs, or without having to trust any third party. When you get the Trezor, you unseal it, you plug it to your computer. I would like to say the computer doesn't really need to be new, or it doesn't have to be totally super clear of viruses. You can basically set up the device on any computer without having to take care of whether it's compromised or it has some virus. So you set it up, it gives you the 24 words that you write down. There's a huge notice like, please don't make any digital copies. We mean it, don't make any digital copies, because this is the most important part to keep your seed secure. Maybe we can talk about the security concept, because there's a lot of people still trying to trust or even to convince other people that they have to trust some hardware. Our view is a little bit different, even though we say this is an open source and we say do not trust us. It's a zero trust principle design that we are building on top of it. There is no really perfectly secure hardware. Look at PlayStation 3. Have you heard of it? So smart card, but hacked. Okay, how can I, just rely on some piece of hardware? If there's a company saying trust us, because, we are perfectly secure and we have encrypted storage and so on. Look at Mt. Gox. They also said they are top secure. Bitcoin is really the first money that can be yours. It's private money, right? And we were so much used to be babysit by banks, by organizations. Right now we have some innovation, some invention that actually can allow us to have our own money in our hands. And this is what Trezor makes possible. Because until Trezor, there was no really secure and easy to use way, easy to use device or wallet for a person like myself. With Trezor, I can use Bitcoin, I can keep them. I don't have to trust anyone, and I don't have to wake up in the morning thinking, is still my Bitcoins there or not there? And I can just use it easily without making any mistakes. Trezor enforces secure behavior. So there is no convenient but insecure or secure but inconvenient modes. With Trezor, you can't behave irresponsibly, and it still delivers great user experience.
Right. Even when you're recovering your seed, if something happened to the device and you're typing your 24 words back in, there's sort of a scrambling process so that even on a compromised machine, typing your seed directly into the computer is still secure.
Yes, that's correct. So what we did is, first of all, we mix the words. So we don't ask 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 20 to 24. So we mix the order and we ask for more. So some words that are not present in your seed, but appear randomly mixed with your correct words on the Trezor display. So the computer basically doesn't know which word is from your seed and which is not.
To your knowledge, has there been any compromised Trezor? Has anybody with a Trezor lost Bitcoins that were stored on it for any reason?
Not that I'm aware of, probably we would be aware of. There was a case, I think, that someone forgot his passphrase. There are maybe just two things to remember when you want to use your Trezor. The first thing is protect your seed. Don't make digital copies ever. And the second one, don't forget your passphrase. Okay, because the passphrase behaves like an additional word to the seed, and basically what it does, it creates like a new wallet inside Trezor. So if you forget the passphrase, the bitcoins that were hidden under the passphrase are lost.
Right. The passphrase is effectively the 25th word of the seed. And so that is part of the information that derives all the private keys. So you can't get that wrong. And also, I've seen something called CryptoSteel, which I don't know if you guys are developing it or if it's a startup that you are incubating, but why don't you tell us what that is and what Satoshi Labs' involvement is?
Okay, so this is a part of our strategy because we believe we have some of the very smartest Bitcoin guys on our team. That's my private opinion, definitely. And we want to share the knowledge that we have. So when we met Wojciech, he's a very excited Bitcoiner, very enthusiastic guy with this craftsmanship. He has a company with a family company for creating metal stuff. And so he came up with this idea to create a stainless steel backup for Bitcoin keys. And we helped him redesigning because his original idea was to create a backup for the private keys. And we convinced him that it's much better idea to actually work with the words because that's something a person can work well with, and it's also much more secure. So basically the design of the new CryptoSteel, or maybe it will be called later a different name, but the design of the product is built on top of BIP39 standard, which is the words that created when you set up your Trezor or any BIP39 compatible wallet. And what you do, you only need, because this is the design of the BIP39, you only need the first 4 letters of each word in order to reconstruct the entire word. So you will put the 24 words, just the first 4 letters of each of the word into CryptoSteel, and you can hide it some good place.
Right. The BIP39 word list was designed so that the first 4 letters of every single word on the list of, I think, 2,000 words, none of those 2,000 words have the same first 4 letters. So that as long as you get the first 4 letters, a computer program can figure out the rest of the word. So what you've got is a metal box full of metal letters that are all locked down, and it's basically got your 24-word seed, and it's invulnerable to laser beams and fire.
Yes, exactly.
That's cool. Are there any other startups like that you guys are involved with?
There are some other projects. One is coming out around autumn. I'm afraid I cannot really tell you much of the detail right now, but what I can tell you, it's going to be a game changer for Bitcoin. The same way Slush Pool was for Bitcoin mining or Trezor was for Bitcoin security.
That's great. We love game changers around here.
Keep up with the news.
And actually, that's interesting. I didn't know until recently that Slush Pool was under the umbrella of Satoshi Labs, because Slush is one of the co-founders of Satoshi Labs and Trezor.
Yes, it's correct. I mean, Slush Pool exists from 2010. And Satoshi Labs only was founded 2013, but basically because we are in the same team, we put all the projects under one umbrella, and we want to have Satoshi Labs as the think tank, as a brain house, or how I can call it, that not only develops its own projects, but also helps other people to develop their ideas. So nice example was CryptoSteel, and we're totally open to other people. So if you're listening, anyone, you have some idea and you don't know how to do, or you don't know what to do, but you want to help in Bitcoin. So we have some nice ideas in a drawer. So just come and talk to us.
What are the primary attack vectors that Trezor defends against, and how do you keep everything as secure as you can with a Trezor?
Those are the viruses and the keyloggers. I was just going through Kaspersky Lab researches, and they have released some very interesting information. Did you know, Matthew, that every day, there are 230 new keyloggers? these programs that are designed to capture everything you type into your computer. There are more than 200 or 300 special malware designed just to steal Bitcoin wallets, and it's increasing. The more interest is coming into Bitcoin, the more, of course, the hackers are more interested into stealing your Bitcoin. So, and this is the major threat for a Bitcoin owner. There is nothing like a perfectly secure hardware that would provide you perfect physical security. But the entire concept has to be created to maximize your protection for virtual attacks. And the security concept of Trezor is built on several pillars, which is the hardware, which is a single purpose computer separated or only connected with a very limited USB protocol that only allows certain transactions and discards anything else. It has the display and the buttons. Those are very important hardware features. But this is not everything. Another pillar of the security is the seed, the passphrase, and the PIN. And the PIN is very important. It protects your Bitcoins in case you leave your device unattended, and so it can happen, you just leave it on your table, as I always do. Someone comes to your office and tries to play with it just to change the label or try to send some transactions. So the way we built this PIN protection is quite smart, I would say, because it protects you against keyloggers. There is what we call a blind matrix that is generated each time you want to type in the PIN. It's generated on the display of Trezor, and you only go and click appropriate positions on your computer. So the computer and the hacker or the keylogger never knows what you are doing. So this is how basically authorize yourself against the device. That's how you say, this is me, this is the owner of Trezor.
You beat the keyloggers by not using the keyboard directly, or by using the relationship between the screen and a human's eyes to sort of encrypt what you're typing.
Exactly. You can trust your eyes, you can trust your hands, right? So what you see is the display. And this is how also the protection against phishing works with Trezor. So you can be sure that the receiving address that you just created for getting new Bitcoins into your Trezor is correct, because you can use the little I in mytrezor.com. You click it and it allows Trezor to show the same address. So you can verify, okay, what the browser is showing me is the same that Trezor showing me, it's correct. Okay, nobody is trying to fake me into some different website.
Yeah, I find it very amusing on your website. You actually have a list of some of the biggest recent Bitcoin thefts.
You have seen it? Oh, yes. It's probably not complete, but it gives you a little bit of the idea of why you should not entrust your Bitcoins and your private keys to anyone else.
Is the entropy actually generated on the device at the time of initialization, or is there some kind of seed put on it at the factory or something?
No. The device comes clean. It only contains the bootloader that allows, very basic operations of the device. And the entropy is generated and collected both from your computer and generated on the device for more security. The basic principle of Trezor is that it keeps all the most important security work away from any online device. So the private keys are generated inside Trezor, of course, and they never leave Trezor. And you also sign the transactions inside the device. And you only broadcast, signed transactions through any wallet that you are using. So it might be mytrezor.com, or it might be any other Trezor compatible wallet on your computer or even in your mobile phone. So if you want to check for more options to use your Trezor device with, you can go to the Trezor apps website, which you find on .satoshilabs.com. It's like documentation.
So what kind of information goes public, is actually broadcast from your computer when you're using Trezor?
It's the public key. So each of the account created under Trezor has an individual public key. And that's something that actually the client wallet needs in order to show transactions that are connected with this account. We in Satoshi Labs, we have no information whatsoever about who is using this concrete device. So there is no such thing as some serial number. If you want to go and open up your Trezor device and you don't mind actually destroying it by doing so, you will only find a small QR code that actually says which production batch this is, but there's no such thing as individual serial number. And of course, the code is completely open source and it's been verified by a lot of programmers in the Bitcoin industry already. They could verify that actually nothing else is being sent out.
Okay. If you're using the mytrezor.com web wallet, does it connect to the Bitcoin network like an SPV wallet would, or does it just connect to one Satoshi Labs server?
Right now, it's using the Bits of Proof server that handles just one thing, showing transactions, so showing your balance, and transmitting or sending the already signed transactions out to the blockchain.
Is there any privacy concern where that Bits of Proof server will keep track of, let's say, your IP address and which addresses you're querying?
Well, that could be. That's true. So for that reason, you can use any other wallet of your choice. You can, for example, use the Multi-sig HD, which is compatible with Trezor, and make sure that no private data ever leave your computer.
Okay, cool. So what other wallets are compatible with the Trezor?
Okay, so if you open up the Trezor Apps website, we try to keep it updated, but there's so many new Trezor compatible applications every week that it's almost impossible to get full track of. But on Trezor Apps, you can see a nice table of Trezor compatible wallets, which is, for example, Multi-sig HD, Mycelium, which I think is very nice implementation, or Electrum, Encompass, Coin Prison, and so on. And the list is growing. Interestingly, also, I don't know, have you heard, Matthew, about the sign-in with Trezor, the login feature that we just launched?
Yeah, why don't we talk about that? How does that work?
That's a very neat feature. Completely replaces passwords. So it's a passwordless and secure login that provides extreme privacy. Basically, it uses private keys generated inside Trezor as your authentication. So instead of using usernames and passwords, which is obviously a very difficult issue for most of the people, either they use very weak passwords or they use a password manager, but it gets hacked sometimes, as you've seen recently. Today it was announced in the news that LastPass got hacked and all the master passwords could be vulnerable. So this problem of passwords, ever since the invention of internet, ever since the use of computers, we don't know how to protect user accounts. I love some graphical, infographics. One of my favorites is the website which is called informationisbeautiful.net. And these guys have done nice infographics on the world's biggest data breaches. So you can see there even huge companies like eBay or JP Morgan Chase, Google, Evernote, all these huge companies cannot really protect user accounts. So what Trezor does is just skip all this usage of usernames, passwords, or email addresses and use the private keys generated inside Trezor. For each of the websites that you log in to with Trezor, a new private key is generated. So you don't even share your identity across different websites.
This is a really good idea. I like this.
As opposed, for example, to log in with Facebook or log in with Google. I mean, Facebook, that's very old news. I think 2011 or 12, there was like 600,000 Facebook accounts compromised daily. I don't want to use my Facebook account for other websites. No, it's not a good idea.
So the login with the Trezor, you can't just apply that to any website, right? The website has to have integrated this.
That's correct. That's why there's a new Trezor Connect API that allows any website developer implement login with Trezor or sign it with Trezor quite easily.
Okay. And technically, what is actually happening when you go to the website? Is there like a challenge response?
Exactly. Yes.
So the website gives you a message, you sign it with your private key and send it back, and you're good to go.
Correct. What's interesting about this is because of the beautiful hardware design of Trezor with the display, there's one more feature that is interesting, and it's a phishing protection. So with Trezor, when you log into a website, you know which website you actually logging into because the browser sends the URL to the display of Trezor and you have to validate it by a button press. So if someone wants to pretend, you are on website this and that, you will know it's not true. So this is something as an additional bonus, I would say.
So what websites are set up with this already?
Recently, there was this Bitcoin exchange called BitX LA, updated with this way of logging in. Coin Payments, which is a payment processor service. CoinSimple, they issue invoices. That's a really neat service. And for example, Class, which was the first non-Bitcoin website that really surprised me. No, we were actually not expecting other websites to implement logging with Trezor because Trezor is just a device built for Bitcoiners, right? But yeah, there's an implementation to this open source platform for classifieds as well. And some other sites. Just check it up on Trezor apps.
And I know you guys have recently added multi-sig support to the Trezor for regular Bitcoin usage of the wallet. How does multi-sig work with the Trezor? Do you need two Trezors to use multi-sig?
No. You can use Trezor as one of the keys to co-sign any multi-sig. So the feature is built in. For mytrezor.com, we decided not to implement this because mytrezor.com is supposed to be a very simple and lightweight web wallet for the basic setup and for all the basic, needs that a Bitcoiner has.
I see. So which kind of wallets do implement the multi-sig feature?
We are working with Copay right now on the implementation. And to be honest, I don't know exactly when it's going to be released, but we are heading there.
Okay, so you could have a Copay, one private key on your iPhone and the other one sitting on the Trezor or something if you just wanted to keep your own funds secured with multi-sig.
Exactly, yes.
And I think out of all the hardware wallets out there, you guys are the first, if I'm not mistaken, to implement altcoin support also.
Yes, there's a list of altcoins already implemented and supported. We can add new ones quite easily. Currently, we support several coin types already. So, except for Bitcoin and testnet, or the test coin as I call it, we support Namecoin and Litecoin, Dogecoin, Darkcoin, which I think it was renamed to Dash, right?
That's right, yeah.
And colored coins. So you can use Trezor for any kind of wallets for colored coins that will be created by other developers.
So there are Dash Coin wallets that can talk to the Trezor. It's, not just Electrum or the My Trezor web wallet, but you need a certain wallet that handles the altcoin with Trezor specifically.
Exactly. The wallet needs to talk the language of the coin. So it needs to have the blockchain explorer for that certain coin type and so on. So for example, for Darkcoin or Dash, their team is working on some wallet already. And for colored coins, Coin Prison is already working with Trezor. We see almost weekly new developments. And this is beautiful about open source. It's beautiful because anyone who can code and who's interested to develop new stuff can just take the code of Trezor and build on top of it.
And you mentioned off the air something about the API expansion, so more wallets can integrate with Trezor.
Yes, we are working the Trezor Connect API that we have released already for the secure and passwordless login to website will be extended by all the basic features of the Trezor as a Bitcoin wallet. So basically any wallet operator can integrate Trezor in very easy way. So have all the basic transaction types like sending, receiving, viewing your balance, creating new accounts, and so on. There will be a few, I don't want to say a few click because I'm not really technical. So if I say that, my guys will kill me. But it should be a really, really smooth process to integrate.
And speaking of open source, I think it was a few months ago, I started seeing the imitation Trezors start to hit the market. And I don't know who's making them, but I guess enough of the Trezor is open source that someone can just put one together. And I don't know, what are your thoughts on that? How are you keeping your brand?
Well, first of all, it's our faces are out there on the website. We are in Bitcoin for a long time. People know Slush and Stick, my co-founders, my partners in Satoshi Labs, and people store a lot of Bitcoins on Trezor, and we are still walking on the street. So that's the first thing. Secondly, we keep on developing. We never stop, we never tire of finding new things to develop. And we are the innovators. We are those ones who bring new stuff. All the other ones follow, which is fine. It's cool because there need to be other options. But I would really prefer to see them like inventing new, really valuable stuff on top of Trezor, because that's what moves all the Bitcoin forward, right?
Sure. This is sort of a related question. If someone wanted to sell their Trezor, or if you just wanted to buy a used Trezor, is there a process where you can securely and trustfully clear your private keys off a device before handing it to someone else? Or do you discourage secondhand Trezors altogether?
You just wipe it. There's one button in mytrezor.com that says wipe, and you wipe all the private keys and everything that was generated when you set it up. And that's it. And you can sell it.
Okay, that's easy. And you can use a Trezor with mobile devices, with Android, I think?
Yes, with Mycelium. And it works like a charm. I really love it. Mycelium was my favorite mobile app, even before the integration with Trezor, but now these guys have done really a nice job. So you can just go wherever you want and even spend your Bitcoins in a secure way. You plug Trezor with an OTG cable to an Android phone for the moment, and just open the Mycelium app. It creates a new wallet and you're good to go. It works with the PIN, it works with the passphrase, works perfectly well.
Is there any plans to expand that to iOS devices too, or is that even physically possible?
I think there is some plan. I cannot really talk for my Mycelium team, and I'm not really sure how much they are related to this iOS team that is developing Mycelium for iOS. You would have to go and ask them.
Is there anything else you're looking forward to with Trezor or Satoshi Labs? Anything else exciting coming up?
For Trezor itself, we are quite happy with the physical device. We are quite happy with the design. We are definitely not looking into adding fancy stuff like Wi-Fi, NFC, and fingerprint readers, because I really think this makes the device much more vulnerable. Just look around, search on the internet. I think using fingerprints, for example, is a big mistake. I think using biometrics for authentication is not really a good idea, because once it gets hacked, you cannot just change your face or your fingerprint, right? Well, you can change your password, but you cannot change your biometrics. So I don't think it's a good idea. And any other like wireless connection or Bluetooth connection can get hacked. So why thinking about this? So for this, no. But what we are surely looking into a lot is like adding new cool features, adding new possibilities for using Trezor as logging device, as authenticator device. I would like to see Trezor as personal digital wallet, not just for your Bitcoins and altcoins, but the protector of your online identity.
So how many Trezors have shipped so far?
Oh, we are a very open company, but this is maybe the only information that we're not giving for several reasons, but I would say several thousands.
So I believe there's a Let's Talk Bitcoin promo code. If you want to buy a Trezor, you can enter the promo code letstalkbitcoin.com. and get some kind of deal on a new Trezor for yourself.
Yes, you get a discount, and Let's Talk Bitcoin gets some support, they get some commission. So go, if you like Let's Talk Bitcoin and you want a Trezor, this is a good opportunity to get a discounted Trezor and support Let's Talk Bitcoin.
Okay, great. Alena, thanks for your time. This has been great.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Let's Talk Bitcoin. Content for today's show was provided by Matthew and Alena. Music for this episode was provided by Jared Rubens. This episode was edited by Matthew Zipkin. Today's magic word is labs. That's L-A-B-S. Labs. You've got until the 7th of July to visit letstalkbitcoin.com or the Let's Talk Bitcoin iOS app to enter it for your share of the listener rewards. Listen in to episode 228 coming up this Tuesday for Andreas' latest discussion with Hashcash creator and sidechains innovator Adam Back as they explore the newly released sidechain elements. See you next time.